I've been kind of thinking about this lately, and I think it's funny how you reach a certain age where you start thinking to yourself, like, damn, like, it's over with. Like, I have to now figure everything out. Like, you grow up when you're like 13, 14, believing that people are going to be around to support you, and you have big dreams and big goals, which, honestly, to be genuinely honest with you, like, it's important to have certain goals and aspirations, especially at a young age, as that's when your dreams really start coming into fruition and your idea of what you want to become and what you want to ideally see yourself being in life and doing in life start coming together. But I think the craziest part is that mad realization within the process of growing up where you think, or where you actually see, like, damn, like, I have to start figuring life out on my own. There's no support structure. There's no asking your friends to back you up sometimes because they got their own lives going on. And you have to kind of stand 10 toes on your own thing and start doing your thing your way without anyone supporting you. I mean, I remember back when I was 18, I had just gotten fresh out of high school and I had to go into the varsity lane. And varsity was cool, don't get me wrong, but when I entered into it, I didn't realize how bad it was until I actually started having to pay for my own groceries. And it's like, damn, okay, this is kind of cool, but it's also kind of sad because now I can't ask my mom, hey, can you please buy me a chocolate? Now I have to be the one to buy the chocolate. Now you have to start learning how to budget. Now you have to start learning about investing and making your own money. And that's pretty lonely to be at. I remember I had a friend who was around about 17 at the time when we were in high school. He was 1 year younger in the same grade. One of those weird people who were a bit too smart for their own age, and their parents or the school principal was like, oh no, he has to go to a different whole class altogether because he's too smart for this one. And he was living life on easy mode because he had the support of his mom and his dad because he came from a pretty well funded family. And I remember him telling me, like, I really, really hope that my parents really look back on this moment and support me through my journey. And I was like, cool, that's no problem. They can do that for you. They probably well off enough to even, you know, have that idea in their mind, like, we'll support him through the whole way. And he went to varsity. I think he studied chemical engineering or something like that, something pretty cool and fascinating and a little more time consuming than a lot of things. And I remember within the first 6 months, he contacted me and said, bro, I haven't eaten in a week. And I'm like, what do you mean? Just ask your parents for money. And he basically told me something which was very gruesome when I think about it. He said his parents, after they sent him to varsity, just told him, you're now on your own, young black man. And I was like, damn, that makes zero sense because they should be supporting you throughout this whole procedure. But they let him go simply because they wanted to see what their kid was made of. And that's the scary part because some of us are living like that without even having that backbone or that little foundation of having parents who are well off. So you end up getting into this situation where you start realizing a lot about life and you have no one to look back on or no one to kind of balance the whole situation for you. So as time goes on, you start also realizing that you have to make a lot of things happen on your own, whether it's applying for silly little jobs to kind of keep yourself afloat while at varsity, managing the work stress, even dealing with your own mental health is solely on you. Like, you can ask your parents to help you with your mental health. They could support you from afar, sure, but usually the onus is up to you to kind of really set the tone for yourself and see what you have to be and how you're going to manage the situation. I think in a long term sense, it could be like a good thing because you start having thick skin. But at the same time, when you so used to being sheltered by the surroundings of, oh, I'm 18, I'm 17, I can afford to make mistakes. Once you start hitting the varsity life and even the workplace environment, there really is no room for error because every move that you make is imperative to who you're going to become. So if you end up hanging out with the wrong friends or hanging out with the wrong friend group or even acquire a certain addiction to something that you know is no good, that could literally be your bane. That could literally be the thing that really ends up being the catalyst to you becoming the person you need. My bad. You becoming the person that you need to be, and you becoming something that you were not meant to be. And it's a very scary place to be in and navigate because you never truly know what's gonna happen. Like I remember a few weeks ago, I had literally no money in my bank account and I couldn't even buy bread. And I was like, damn, what am I gonna do? And I just went for the next week without eating, just drinking water and eating the little rations I had in my cupboard. I think it's a little crazy that as you grow up, the more lonely things become, the more friends you lose, the more you don't really even entertain the idea of fundamentally supporting a relationship because you can't even support yourself at the time. Which honestly, we can all blame it on the socio-economic system that we currently have in the world. But at the end of the day, everything still looks at you. So if one light bulb in your room breaks, you don't have the back to be like, oh, hey, dad, my light broke. You have to figure that out. I think it's pretty scary to understand that we're all just living in the world, doing our own thing and making or breaking it, and hoping that one day we hit a big jump or a big leap of faith and we actually do come out the other side better or worse. That's a little scary concept, if you ask me.